Welcome back. It's 8:15. More now on New York's primary elections. We were on the air last night when former Governor Andrew Cuomo conceded to Zohran Mamdani in the battle for mayor.
Literally, I just threw out the script because it was a stunning turn of events. We started to catch wind of the change when the PIX11 Emerson Hill poll was released on Monday, showing Mamdani making his move, right? Mamdani has crossed, though, the first hurdle on the road to City Hall. Does he have what it takes, though, to make it in November? Let's talk to political analyst and assistant professor at the University of Mount St. Vincent, J.C. Polanco. J.C., great to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, they called our poll an outlier. And with all due respect, all the polls had it wrong, including ours, because nobody had him winning in the first round. So here, you called it a political earthquake.
It is. It is. I've never seen anything like this before. Kudos to the Assemblyman, right? 33-year-old guy out of Queens was able to assemble a coalition of folks throughout the city. When you take a look at some of these results, he was able to win in every corner of the city. And I'm just impressed at what happened. Now, this is a clear indicator. This is not your father's Democratic Party anymore.
No.
It's a whole new ballgame. And I think that the Democratic Party has completely changed here in New York City.
Do we count out Cuomo, or will he run on the fight and deliver party?
He hasn't made a decision yet. He's looking at the polls. And
well, he did say to me 2 weeks ago, you were here for that, when he said, I will be on the ballot in November. But last night he changed his tune.
Yeah, you have to say that because people collected petitions for you to have an independent line. And he thinks to himself, I needed a majority to win the primary, but for the general election, all I need is a plurality. So why not stay in the race, he may be thinking. But last night he said something I was listening to carefully. He said, I'm going to do what's best for the party and what's best for New York City. And it almost gave him that opportunity to decide he's not going to move forward. I'm not sure of what's going to happen, but I'll tell you who is Mayor Adams, who's made it very clear. He's running on the anti-Semitism line. He's running hard as an independent. And he sees that his best shot in November would be against an Assemblyman Mamdani.
What do you take of when you look at this in its totality, right? Mamdani ran a great campaign. It's going to be studied by other folks on how to run a campaign here.
Flawless.
So what did he do right? And what was this him doing everything right and a rejection of Cuomo, or did Cuomo just not campaign right? Combination.
I think it was a combination of both. You know, former Governor Cuomo had the Rose Garden strategy. It's the idea of I am 100% name ID. I am the former governor of New York. Everyone knows me, and they know my record. So let me stay away from the press while these guys fight it out, and I can win this primary just on my name alone and come in towards the debates. That's what we call the Rose Garden strategy. It didn't work this time around. Something Assemblyman Mamdani did was he was able to run a flawless campaign. His use of social media, he was seen as a happy warrior. He has a $1 billion smile. I thought I had a great smile. No. This guy is phenomenal. And it's like, he's promising things that we know it's almost impossible to get. The idea of freeze the rent, but we remember it, freeze the rent, free buses, and tax the rich. I mean, we remember that, and it was repeated it over and over again. He was disciplined with his message. The commercials were nonstop, but he was fun.
Yeah.
He was hugging people. He walked from Inwood to Battery Park just the day before. He was every part of the city, and he had 100,000 people out there campaigning for him. And we saw a whole new style of campaigning, and I think that it caught the establishment off guard. When you consider the number of endorsements that former Governor Cuomo had, it was just incredible. I think you're right, Dan. This is going to be studied for years to come. I know my students that were supporting Mamdani are going to beat me up a little bit because, I was thinking to myself, I always laughed about it when I was
CEO, that was your thing.
That was my thing. You're going to be the CEO of New York City. You don't have the experience. The voters in New York City said, the Democratic voters said, I don't care. He's promising good things. And I'll tell you, though, I'm going to throw a little water on this fire. Only 8% of the city's registered voters came out yesterday. So it's not a fait accompli. It's still 92% of voters haven't had a say.
Yeah.
They're going to have their opportunity in November.
And we have debates. And like you said, the non-party affiliated voters that are going to be weighing in. So how easy is the race ahead?
It's going to be very difficult. Listen, you're going to hear a lot of talk about Mayor Adams having the power of incumbency and being able to win with a plurality. But keep this in mind. The last time we saw an independent run for mayor was Mayor Bloomberg. And Mayor Bloomberg, as the incumbent with hundreds of millions of dollars at his disposal, recognized that he needed a majority party line in order to win. And he took the Republican line to win in November.
But this is what Adams wanted. This was his dream scenario, was that Andrew Cuomo loses, Mamdani wins, and then he and Curtis Sliwa is now the Republican nominee, and Adams can say, well, look, I'm the savior. I'm here all along.
Never underestimate the. I'm sorry, Dan. Never underestimate the power of incumbency. From here to November, Mayor Adams is going to be able to be on TV nonstop. He's going to be able to bring out new initiatives, and he's going to be able to bring his record against Assemblymember Mamdani. Remember that there are a lot of voters, especially voters like me, who are independent and unaffiliated voters who didn't have a say yesterday, who are going to be spoken to and have a say in November. So it's not over yet, but it's going to be tough.
JC, all very interesting, fascinating. You're joining me at PIX Plus for our PIX and Politics Daily Show, which is airing at 1, so I'll talk to you then.
Thanks for having me.
Fascinating.
Thank you.
And we'll ask Mamdani who his dentist is.
Yes.
All right.
I need him.